Much who is watching us on EYIT TV. Sankara Beruhanga, actually my name's. It's a cool morning here back in Mbarara. In case you're watching, of course, from a different district or different part of the world, it's a cool one this side. Now we promised you at the end of last week that we should be able to have a mind trigger session for our first cohort that actually were enrolled and the EYIT Digital Innovations Internship Program, DIIP, or someone is going to call it DIIP, not DP at least. Yes, we are having these young innovators, young prospective innovators having to present their progress so far. Of course, having earmarked mental illness as our flagship challenge this very year. We have these guys trying to show us what actually they have achieved for the last only 3 weeks. Of course, usually not so much that they could actually add, but at least always having to show that they have actually achieved something. The whole instance of the session is actually to make sure that their mind, of course, is triggered now to thinking like business, and not just a student or someone waiting to graduate, but otherwise someone waiting to launch their idea or innovation in the market. Now, of course, we are going to do a quick one introduction. I'm so glad that Barbra, you're online. You should be able to be getting us very, very well. But also, yeah, Barbra, for you who's watching us from YouTube and Facebook, Barbra is going to be joining us via Zoom. We are shortly going to be getting first. Let me allow the students to introduce themselves, and later, of course, we're going to have their two groups actually presenting before we hear from guest speakers tonight. Thank you very much, guys. The microphone is off to you. We are starting, I think, with you. For us to be audible enough, I would request that you get your mic like just the way I am. Like this side, you guys won't be getting you. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm called Agababat, and I'm a student, and I do study from here for this meantime, and I am now innovative because in what I'm doing for whatever I've studied now, I'm still, the process still continues, and I'm still studying to equip myself. Thank you so much, and that's it.
Thank you so much for the program. I'm Asumio Christine, a student at USJM. I'm here for internship, and so far I'm yet to become an innovator. So far where I am, we are not bad. What we have developed. Thank you so much.
I'm by names of Mwezi Dickens, doing diploma in computer science at USJM. So far, I've been carrying out my internship here at EYIT. And what we opted is what we found, we've developed, though we are still doing, and we hope for the best as time goes on. Thank you.
I'm called Pius Mbasa. I'm a student at USJM. I'm doing computer science. Yeah, and I do internship at the EYIT. I think that's all.
Thank you. I'm Femi Ainembawazi. I'm also a student at the University of St. Joseph Mbarara, but I'm a visitor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Akankunda Leonidas, a DIIT student from USJM and currently an intern at EYIT. I'm glad to be part of this creative and innovative team, ready to learn more and ready to work with all of you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Aishuka Clara, a student at University of St. Joseph, Mbarara, doing computer science diploma. This is my final year and my final internship. So far, I really appreciate what I have already learned. Thanks everyone. Thanks the team of EYIT.
Good morning, everyone. I am Rodney Akangunya Matovu, final year student of Bachelor's of Information Technology at Kampala International University Western Campus. And I'm glad to be part of this team at EYIT. I am as well an internee. And we have a lot that we are working on. And we hope for positive results because it's all we are working towards. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, you who is actually watching us. That is a team of young men and women that will actually be presenting today to show progress. But of course, later they should be able to receive some, good, I would say, mind trigger talk from comrades that have been actually into this thing for a little bit, a while. And of course, we believe that ICT still remains their best chance when it comes to, innovation ecosystem. We are going to be running just like that. In case you have anything to, get to understand, that is actually always going to be through your comments in case we are able to drop one. I'm talking about people who are watching us live on YouTube and Facebook, but also those using the mobile application and also on web. Now, of course, we have this other table. We have Comrade Ivan, you who is actually watching us. That is the gentleman over there. Ivan Amanya is, why should I actually talk about him? Yeah, it's okay. Thank you very much, Ivan. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. All right. I thank you all for being here at this time. Yeah, actually, as my colleague Sankara has briefly introduced me, I'm called Ivan. I hold a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, and I'm the head of innovations and research at Empower Youth in Technology, and I've been the instructor of these internees. So what you will see later on, what they will tell us, is all for me. Thank you so much.
Okay. Henry, you want to say something? Finally, these guys get to see you. That's the guy that is always behind the production, guys. You are watching us live on ATV. Are you saying something?
Good morning, everyone. I'm called Henry Kavuga, and I'm the one in charge of production.
Okay. So thank you very much. Of course, to note that Henry is another young man that joined just the same way you are. And of course, very, very quickly, the mindset changed from just coming around and using internet to, becoming the next young, big, producer that we have around. That is always the power of mindset, the power of what you have to actually capture and, have a difference a little bit from your, fellows. Now, there is a big gentleman seated for my people who, of course, are viewing. I need to be showing you that gentleman. Yes, that you see is actually called Mr. Emma Kamuhire. Am I pronouncing that very well? Okay, the last time I checked. Okay, but yes, Emma is the CEO of A-lite Uganda Limited. Emma has preached on different global, platforms, pitching for their innovation Vein Locator. And Vein Locator, you who is watching us and my young innovators here, Vein Locator, who has ever been in the hospital and, they are struggling to find your veins? Do we know veins? Ah, okay. So do we have anyone who has gone to a hospital and they are struggling to look for where to pierce? Okay. Well, you might not be a monk, but at least it's common in babies. It's common in people who are huge. I think Ivan needs gym. He might be coming to the same so soon. But yes, this gentleman you see here also, of course, finished from Mbarara University of Science and Technology and developed that solution. Of course, he's going to talk about it, but with it, I don't know whether it's physics or what, but at least some lighting solution, place it under the arm and they're able to see these veins, so they're able to know where to pierce. Yeah. And it's that innovation that has actually taken in places. I don't know how many planes he has been to, but so many countries trying to pitch some of these ideas, and he has actually won some huge grants. So we believe with his success story, he's actually going to be sharing on how you need to shift from thinking like someone who is just going to grab a degree from University of St. Joseph or from Kampala International University, but you start thinking about him. You start thinking about you going to those planes, you going to pitch some of these things. Of course, talking about pitching, there is our colleague we expected also to join via Zoom, Comrade Ronald Tuhame, who is our lead team team leader here. Actually, he has been in the USA also. Of course, the same thing, pitching. That's the mindset we need. So he should be able to join shortly also via Zoom to give us, some dossier around this. And also we are expecting Comrade Cyril Tuhame, who is actually the senior IT officer at Mbarara District local government. That is Emma for you. We are going to have him at least for some good time. You don't have to worry about getting to understand him. Of course, we are going to have that chance shortly. Now we have Barbra. Barbra, I think your other name is Amutuhaire, if I'm not pronouncing it wrongly. But so glad that you are online. And Barbra is also, she's the lady that we interacted with the other time. You people who are here, owns Ukara Mentor. I guess. Yes, but at least I know it's Ukara and it has mental health services to offer. She has been into rehabilitation center kind of business for some good time. And remember, the challenge you're solving is also around mental illness. So we expect to hear from her what is happening in the field, how can actually tech come in, the opportunities there. Are you guys in a wrong kind of path? Is it needed at this time? Or we might actually need to think of a different time. She's going to be sharing all those. Barbra, we are so happy to have you. You could just say hi, so that we be sure you're listening. Okay. Okay, Sawa. So we are going to immediately go for our first group presentation. Maybe to brief our viewers, understand that the biggest problem, of course, is yes, mental illness, but what are the root causes? What are actually the effects? And from that, they actually chose to start giving a solution. Of course, given the time, they could not, attack it as a whole. Began with only one module of the solution, and we believe we should be able to be watching them present that very, very shortly. What can you actually tell them? What could you actually have to put across? Drop it in your comment, and then also the speakers actually also going to add from that. Without group 2 instead. Please, group. Thank you very much, you who's watching us. Please keep around.
Thank you so much, everyone who is watching us. I am Akankunda Leonidas, one of the group 2 members, and in my group I have Rodney and Clara. As for our presentation, a project that we are working on for the solutions of mental illness in Uganda, first of all, we came up with a name for our project, and that is Relief Minds. And we are going to tackle the problems of stress. We have stress, we have drug abuse as the causes, and then we have violence and medical expenses, majorly costly medical expenses as the outcomes for our problem at hand. And in a minute, we are going to be showing you our problem statement, and this is supposed to be showing exactly what we are going to be dealing with. So that you are seeing on screen is the problem statement, which is mental illness in Uganda has proved to be one of the most prominent threats to the health of Ugandans currently, and this is majorly caused by stress, as I had talked about. I will summarize this. I will not read everything. Stress, then drug abuse. We have the statistics as you are seeing, and the outcomes of this are violence and unexpected medical expenses. So as our group, we decided to find out a tech solution to help people coping with depression and outcomes of violence and medical expenses. Therefore, we started with doing a system for data collection and a website. I will call upon my colleague Clara to talk more about our project. Thank you.
Good morning once again. This is Ayushka Kilara. As Arya said, our group decided to come up with a tech solution. Therefore, I'm going to start with the system that we are developing. The system is here and I already have an account. Okay. For the beginners, you have to first create an account. Here are the credentials which are required. Then after creating the account, you log in. I have finished creating an account. I got login. As I log in, my dashboard is displayed. On my dashboard, I have the user's form, the psychiatrist form, and the rehabilitation center form. So far, this is where I have reached. The system is not yet complete. For the users, so far we have the users, psychiatrists, rehabilitation centers. They are the only one which are active, as we are still developing the system. For the rehabilitation centers, here this system will connect the patients to rehabilitation centers through the website that we are also creating, as the is required to enter the rehabilitation center name, the phone number, email, the location, even select the district, then registers. Then we also have the psychiatrist list. These are psychiatrist form for registering psychiatrists. We shall register full names, phone numbers, email, gender, rehabilitation center, and expertise. After registering these things, they are displayed in the lists. Then we shall go on and create the patient's form and the diagnosis form. And after creating those, we shall go on and create the form which will allow patients to give feedback our system. That is all I have to say. Let me call my colleague Rodin. Pardon.
Thank you. Once again, I am Rodney Kamuhire, and here to present our website on behalf of Group 2. This is the preview for our website, and this is how far we've gone with our development. Generally, we are aiming at connecting people with mental health issues to the rehabilitation centers and maybe to the counselors. Because the main issue we have currently, people find it hard to wake up, let's say on a Monday morning like this, and move to a rehabilitation center. I mean, talk about your issues, your mental health issues, talk about your stress. But we are coming up with a solution here whereby you can access your phone, access your laptop, and maybe type in Relief Minds. And with Relief Minds, you get to have access to a counselor or a psychiatrist at the comfort of the rehabilitation centers, talk about your issues, and maybe get counseled or given a way forward on how to address your issue. The business side of a solution, because one may ask, yes, you're a group of innovators, you're coming up with a website which is connecting the mentally ill people to the rehabilitation centers or the counselors or psychiatrists. How are we earning out of this? The system will be designed to address this. This is where our website or our tech solution comes in. everyone currently, I will not say everyone, but a huge percentage of the Ugandans have access to smartphones, if I may say have access to internet. And it would be much more easy for a person to just log in into internet, maybe going to Google, type in relief mines, and get access to one of our maybe rehabilitation centers or talk to a counselor at a fair price, because it's currently so expensive to talk to, so expensive to incur charges to access the relief, to access mental health facilities, services. The mental health services as well are more expensive in the country, and this would be a better solution. I mean, you can create an account, as we earlier saw with the system. You can get to create the account on the website. After creating an account, you can log in. Logging in from different perspectives, as a psychiatrist, as a patient who is seeking support or guidance, and more to that as we are working towards that. The business side of this is the business side. Actually, someone will ask, how do we earn from this? As I had earlier asked about that. Each patient that logs in or seeks for mental guidance or assistance can get to pay a fair price. I'll say you get maybe to pay a price of 5,000 shillings, Ugandan shillings, to access the site for 30 minutes and get access to all the services we have on the site. And how do we earn out of this? I mean, the 5,000 shillings gets back to the maintenance, it gets back to the team that is working on this to make this a better service. And hopefully in the near future, once we have this out and fully running, we could come back and explain more on how it may work, or how we can get to address the issue of mental illness using a very tech solution, Relief Minds. Thank you, and I think I'll let the speaker call on the next group.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, we are going to be getting to summarizing at least that, in case there are any comments from that. So let's have group one quickly. Like you said, the session is just for 1 hour, so we have to do chap. Group one.
Good morning once again. This is group one. We are going to present the following we have used according to our development. But mainly group one was supposed to develop the website. And we have, before you develop something, you have to first have a problem setting. We have a problem statement talking about mental illness, but it is specifically on desperation, lack of counseling guidance, and then after our problem statement, that's where we have started from to develop our website, based on the problems that we have mentioned: poor decision making, suicide, and desperation. And now I'm going to call upon one of the members to talk about our website.
Thank you so much, my colleague
Christian, and me, I'm called Barbra. I'm going to talk about our website. This is our website that we formed, and first of all, our website it has a login form, and as you can see, we have to log in there, and this is our website. As you understand, we are talking about relief mind, and as one of the principles that they have told us that we have this space, and people find their space, and we were trying, we created a website where people can reach, so that they can access. If it is the website, they can know that this website, it does this one, it solves a certain problem in maybe if in mental health. Take an example, as this website that we created, where we have a login form. You can see that if maybe you have access to this website, you can say this is the place for login form, or when you want to log out in this form. Then we have the enter keywords. Then when you move down, there is certain like a notification where they say when you need answers, you know where to go. It seems like it is asking, it is a possible question. It is giving you something. It is like when it says, do you want this one? Do you want this one? Then it's putting you into, driving you from the space that you were in, then taking you to a possible way. We are having our home. When it plays on home, then after home, this is where you can access. Maybe if you want to contact us, you can contact us on the number. Then we have a research and careers. If you want maybe to gain knowledge on us, maybe you want to know what is more about relief mind, you want to know more about relief mind, then you can come and research on this website. Then we have medical. We have medical information. Maybe you want to know what is it. For example, you have gone maybe to a hospital or somewhere, they have told you about this certain problem. You can come and reach on our website and you make research on that medical information, and you see if they have told you have certain problem, you can research on it and see the problem that they have and how it can be solved. And this is the website that we try to create, and when you move down, we are having our rehabilitation center options and location. Then we are having this was our relief mind in Uganda, and this is how Uganda is, and where you can find us. For example, if I'm looking at this place at EYIT, you can find us there in the middle here in Mbarara. So if you want to find us, you can come and find us here in the middle, maybe relief mind on a certain website or on our website. You can come and find us in that place. You move up, sorry. Then this was the verification that I have been speaking of, the right answers, innovation with impacts. You come first, no experience. For example, when I speak of the right answer, relief mind, if you have a problem, then when you reach us on this website, you can get the right answers that can help you. Innovation with impacts, you come first. Come first before you go anywhere. Maybe if you have been with a certain problem, come first before you feel like there is no hope. Come first on this website, then you shall get the answer that can help you.
I think I mean as a Gawabat and a student at the University of St. Joseph, and I'm happy and proud to be at EYIT. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Oh, you're continuing? Oh, okay. Yes. Yes, thank you very much who is watching us live and anyone who joined in Zoom. We are still, of course, preparing to have a mind trigger talk for these internee students from University of St. Joseph, Mbarara. And of course, for the last 3 weeks, they were introduced to this thing and they have actually progressed just like you saw them present. But we can only believe that this can shift from them thinking about growing or improving this to just earn a degree, but also improving to into a business. Of course, I understand that the remaining time they're supposed to be now developing the same with mobile application or Android version with the help of Ivan. And of course, in a few, perhaps also weeks, we should be able to see their progress with mobile applications. But of course, EYIT's strategy is that from these young people, you realize it's the same problem that they are solving. We are supposed actually to have at least 3 or 4 members out of the team that are actually very, very committed and active to continue developing and bettering this. Of course, later have mentors on the team, have other developers on the team to clean up the solution. That is always what we always have to offer under the Digital Innovations Internship program. Now, the major essence of this was actually to get seniors to help trigger the minds of the students, and we cannot wait any longer. We are going to be starting with that. I guess, Barbie, in case you're there, we should be able to start with you, and it would be important in case you have some good internet, you would allow us to actually watch you, enable your video, in case you don't mind. You have at least 5 minutes. But we can only use actually 5 minutes, yeah? Only 5 minutes. You are into, Bobby, you are into rehabilitation centers and anything to do with mental health. These young people are seeking to develop their solution better, of course, using your expertise. This time, of course, bringing in the tech side of it. How would you actually talk to these guys? What would you actually tell them? What opportunities are out there? What would actually be your comment? Bobby.
Thank you so much, Tuhame.
Yes.
I hope you're getting me.
Yes, we're getting you.
Am I loud and clear?
Very loud and clear.
All right. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for empowering these youth. For really, I remember the few faces I've seen the first time we talked, we had a talk, and I'm really impressed by what I've already done so far. I'm really grateful. So, first and foremost, I thank you guys. I know being in technology, I remember telling you that it's really an opportunity. And I still say it's really an opportunity for you guys. And I'm happy from the time we talk and how far you come to what you've done is really a great job. Because mental health is a very big burden in Uganda. It's a pivot to human life. These things happen to us every day, every minute, it's not, I don't understand you that people think that mental health is these people who are using drugs. That's not the case. Mental health affects everyone. So I'm really impressed by what you're doing. But I'd like to pose the question to the two groups that are presented.
I'm accessing website, there is an app there, trying to seek help as a patient, as a client. Sometimes I need privacy. I don't know whether you've considered that. I'm sharing my information with you people, but I don't want it to be known. Me not going to a physical rehabilitation center is because I don't want to be known. I don't want people to get to know about my problems. So I don't know what you're thinking about, whether you're planning to add in something that will keep the identity of those clients that will be accessing the website, the apps you're developing, to be confidential. Am I 5 minutes done? Because I know I can talk and talk and talk and talk. Sankara? Hello?
But it's okay, you continue, it's okay. At least you've used only 2 minutes actually.
All right. That question.
Sure.
Sorry?
You could actually help paint a picture in the field. What is it like? Maybe if you could also share the opportunities that lies ahead of this digital.
Yeah, actually, okay. I want to, the best team, I'm promising you guys, the best team, I'll be working with you at Ukara Mental Health Services. I'll be working with you because this is something that I'm looking into. I've already started getting people that would like to partner with me to work together, because mental health is not a simple thing, as I've shared. And if you're to see, suicidal rates now in Uganda are very high. Is there something that you're working on, something that can make someone feel at home? I don't know whether an emoji, whether emotional cartoons, I don't know. I know you're not cartoonists, but I know with your technology, you can develop something out of it. So that when someone is really, you want to commit suicide, but you see this emoji and you're like, oh, they are happy with me, meaning I'm not alone. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe, we talked about these things some time back. But now what I'm focusing on is confidentiality of people's information, the data. I've seen when you're logging in their website, you put in email, yes, I'm happy with the first group, bringing in the rehabilitation centers. Yeah, that one is very okay, because psychiatrists are very few in the country.
Able to reconnect in case that time actually comes, but for now we are going to be coming back. Henry, I need to confirm whether Ronnie is on Zoom yet. Is he around? Yes, thank you very much. Who is still watching? We are now going to switch to the people, speakers at the venue who were actually invited. Of course, earlier today I told you about Comrade Emma, the guy in blue. Okay. Yes, earlier today I told you about Comrade Emma, and of course I promised you that Mr. Cyril is actually going to be joining us shortly. And yes, the gentleman you see on your screen in white is actually the senior ICT officer at Mbarara District Local Government. Cyril has also, been supportive, especially with young, innovative kind of groups, especially Empower Youth in Technology. For instance, to say, I guess for everything that we may have around here, he has actually had, his own support from linking us to NITA, getting this internet, having different, systems deployed at the district, including Papers and Let's Farm app. Of course, to very many other, kind of supportive work for the young people who are actually in technology. Him being a senior, IT officer, of course, has got to have a lot of connections, and also, I mean, he has seen it all. He has seen systems come and go. So we, of course, thought we are going to be having him share quite a lot more with these young people. Now, the gentleman you see on the screen, of course, Emma, this is your time to, at least we promised these guys 1 hour, so you're going to forgive about the chap. But yes, basically the reason why we actually hosted this was to make sure that these young people change from being a student and start thinking like, I think I can start from here and build. Of course, they are students of University of St. Joseph, USGM, University of St. Joseph, Mbarara, and yes, they have all computing background. I think computer science. Do you have any? Yes, computer science and IT. These are the students that we have. I guess second years. Do we have any first year? No. Yes, second years. You can relate how you were, and especially how you had progressed. In case someone introduced you to these things in 3 weeks, and you can develop. But I have to give it up for them. These guys, of course, whatever you just watched, these guys have been able to grasp in 3 weeks and quickly put up at least something together. And we believe if the minds change, we will actually be achieving quite more. Why should we delay? Let's welcome you, Emma. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sankala. Thank you very much, Sankala. And it's an opportunity for me, like I said, meeting people who share same passion, same interest, innovators. I find it very, very interesting. So my name is Emmanuel Kamuhire. I'm a CEO of A-lite Uganda. We majorly focus on medical device development. We started like you guys.
And I'm very happy, first of all, to see that you have solutions you're putting out there. When you were speaking, I was seeing myself that side then, because I started like you guys, and I think what we needed, like the EYIT people have done, was a bit of a platform where we could actually come and have support. So the Ivans, the Sankalas, the EYIT family is doing that very well, in a way that you get students who are completely focused on degrees. I was more such a person focused on a degree. I want to like finish. Like any other person finishes, and we think about first class, we think about second upper, we think about second lower. But that should not only be the focus. So the focus should be that with your first class, with your second upper, with your second lower, with whatever degree class, what are you going to actually contribute to the community? And I think talking about mental health is a very important thing. Personally, Sankala, I didn't actually know that things to do with depression could even exist, not until I got depressed as a person. So when I finished my undergrad at Mbarara University, I got a scholarship to go and study from South Africa. I was at the University of Cape Town, UCT, and they stole completely my thing. Like the thieves came and broke into our house, they put us on knives and stuff, and then told us to lay on our bed, that they're packing everything. I mean, you see losing everything. Like we lost completely everything. The only thing that we had was that nobody was hurt, nobody was touched, and everything, we had life. But to actually come up from this kind of situation was difficult for us. And I only wanted to be in my room, close it, have food, and get whatever to drink. And I didn't want anyone to come to my place. So when I came back, of course, at the beginning of 2021, I think I was a different person. Even when I came, my interaction was a bit less. I think it's 2022 that has actually opened up. Now I can go to people, talk and stuff like that. But I didn't know that you could actually get replaced. And surprisingly, even the person next to you can never know. Because you seem to be like the same person, but so much is happening. So I think you are talking about an issue that
so many people, I think, in Uganda and even other places don't even know. And if you could carry deeper this kind of idea, it can land you into so many opportunities out there. And I would love to tell you that if you can only save one life, that would even be like a goal achieved. So I had you discuss and talk about how do we transition from this to, like making money. How do we do? Of course, this is a huge kind of project that you're working on, and you might actually need support in terms of grants, in terms of money for you to actually scale this. Because if you have to scale it, say for example to the entire Uganda, out of Uganda, because I'm sure mental health issues is not about Uganda issue only. It's an issue it's a global issue. So if this solution is actually working for Uganda, you could even scale it up. Rwanda needs it, Burundi needs it, Congo needs it, Kenya needs, whatever, Cameroon, whatever, the USA, these people need that. So I think you might want to think about how best now do we move forward from this being a simple project we're starting at EYIT to something that actually make and then put money on the table and save lives at the end of the day. So we're thinking about now grants and how we get there. So first of all, we're going to begin from the proposal level. I did look at when you're projecting. I was very happy that you guys were actually projecting. I thought you were going to present and as projecting. Someone projected the problem statement, and I was trying to just see if I was a funder and I looked at this kind of thing and then you sent it to me, would I actually give you the money, or I'll be like, I first put in the trash bin or something. But one thing I realized is that you are on a journey, and what you only need is just a bit of panel beating, But you guys are good. I could see like a summarized kind of thing, and I'm like, wow, these guys are even, can summarize something. For us, by then, would have like 2 pages and talking about something, and most of them would even be a copy paste. Later on, we learned how to actually reference. We learned how to paraphrase. We learned how to attribute something to someone who has actually done that. I saw like a bit of some figures we were talking about, and of course these I think were like reports from news and stuff like that. So some of the things I think that you could actually go beat moving forward, because one, you don't want to base on, for example, like a news, like NTV or NBS or something, and then say this shows that. You want to just talk about like a research which is published, like research that was done in 2021 by maybe this and this et al. Talks about these numbers to be this. Because like one thing we do is media is good, but media at some point will also mislead. You've seen that. But these are things that you can always go through, as time goes on. And then the other thing I was talking about, when I was looking at the statement, problem statement, I saw someone abbreviating and stuff like that. And it reminded me, I saw like Monday, like MON, I mean, that was, a bit of that. It reminded me when you guys were actually introducing yourselves, I had to talk about USGM, and I'm like, wait, what is USGM? Not until I think one lady somewhere said, the visitor, I think, when the visitor said, I'm from the University of St. Joseph's Mbarara, I'm like, oh, so that is the neighbor here, So you just want to actually put out, because we are live, and the entire world is watching. So when you say USGM, someone probably maybe in the US, in Germany, or somewhere, is trying to actually struggle and asking themselves, what is USGM? So you really want to actually put that there. That's one thing you have to learn from the perspective of funding. If you met someone in an elevator, I think you guys have used elevators before. If you meet Sankala, who is the investor in an elevator, Sankala is a business guy, he has money, and one thing you know about business people that have money, they really don't have this much time that you need. So you won't have actually 10 minutes to pitch to them. You must be having that elevator pitch. It's called an elevator pitch. Elevator pitch because you only have like 30 seconds for the elevator to have moved to the 7th floor and Sankala is out. So you want in 30 seconds to talk to Sankala and they are able to understand what you're doing. Now the moment they understand what you're doing, they will now be able to ask for more or even give you like their contacts and say, you know what, by the way, here is my contact, you can have it, let's talk later. But if you just only need to make a point in 5 minutes, Sankala already has reached his office and is doing so many other things. So think about that elevator pitch. If someone was asking you about mental health and what you're doing, what would you tell them? That's something you want to think about. That in 30 minutes, I'll have made this person understand non-technical. You guys are IT and computer science. They can hear some IT-based, technical terms and stuff. Like, can you make it in a layman's language? In a way that someone who does business is able to understand. Because you say, websites, what, this, that. Someone said, a website, what is a website? You see, for you, it's a simple thing. because you're in the IT world. But for someone who is in business, who is in management, who is in work, it becomes a difficult language to understand. So you want to have, in 30 seconds, to actually tell someone what you're doing. For example, when I meet someone on the way and ask me, so can you please tell me about what you guys do? The only thing I tell him is that my name is Emmanuel, Kamuhire. I'm a CEO of A-lite Uganda. And at A-lite Uganda, we provide easy access to patient claims. So the person is like, wait, like you provide easy access to patient claims? How? Now you've given me the time to tell you more about what we do. So you have to think about that simple line you can put there to explain your point. And that's what we call the elevator pitch, right? So think about the pitching. You want to pitch a lot. You want to be on platforms. And one thing you have to do, you have to develop the resilience of someone saying no to you. Because you will have the no's, like very many of them. We did applications. We would apply. And someone tells you, because of the huge numbers of innovation that we received, we are, sorry, but to inform you that we could not go on with, like, we could see those no's, and we're like, okay, this is another chance for us to try, So you don't lose hope because someone is saying no. You don't lose hope because you're pitching to someone and they can't understand what you're doing. That doesn't mean that you're actually not doing anything. Sometimes you come and pitch to Sankala, and Sankala is too busy to like listen to you, and then they say, that's trash. And you're like, oh my God, I think I'm not doing anything. And then before you know, you've lost it. That's not the spirit of an innovator. The spirit of an innovator is, I come and meet someone, they trash my idea, I'll have to go back and be like, I know it can work. If you look at successful people, you're going to realize these are people who failed not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4, not 5, but very many times. But the only thing they had was never to give up. So as you live in EYIT, of course, this internship will come to an end and going back to different universities. One thing you should know is that you can walk out of that university. I had a colleague from KIU, Western Campus. You can walk out of that university with a brilliant idea that you developed while in Mbarara in internship. And before you know, 2 years down the road, you are employing over 40 or 50 people. Not having to write and move, and the shoes and the sole of the shoe gets done on street because you're looking for jobs. You can actually be one of those people that creates jobs. We had these people at university, like Sankala, like Survivor. These guys were here at Mbarara University. They are managing EYIT. EYIT is transforming lives. It is empowering the youth to actually think about innovation. And there are so many challenges out there in the community. One thing you have to do is, do you have a listening ear? Do you want to listen to what is happening? And so provide solutions based on actually the need from the community. One thing I usually tell people is that you don't want to engineer solutions. Now, as engineers, Ivan I think knows better, you would hear someone saying, so I have this app, and this app, I want it to solve this. First wait. Before you begin from the solution, what's the problem? Like, you're engineering the solution, and now you say, I have a microphone, I'm looking for the problem. Like, the solution is already there, but you're looking for? So as for you, I was happy to know that you were introduced to the problem tree analysis. We have the core problem, yes, but let's look at the root cause. Otherwise, if you say you're addressing things from the branches, which are the effects, you're going to realize you're actually attacking the wrong what? The wrong part. So you have to go down to the root cause and then begin from there. So you have to think about proposals. There are very many grants out there which are actually into the mental health. But one thing you have to think about, I think Sankara, when these guys leave, they should actually be followed up in terms of how far are they with their proposal. So the proposal will definitely have to talk about like the background, talk about the problem, what to address, talk about the innovation you're proposing. Right now you're proposing some of the things. Don't be surprised when you get to the field and some of the things have to change. Yes, as an innovator you have to have a mind which is open. But you know what? We started with the website, we started with maybe an Android, whatever version of the application, but after 3 years actually we realized there was a better component to add or to remove. So one thing is, don't have a mind which is fixed and say, for me, I can't change. It is supposed to be this, it's supposed to be that. No, when you meet the users, we call it end user centered design. You design based on the end user need, not what you feel should actually be okay. So this would actually change. So of course you would have, to have a proposal, and your proposal must highlight what the background of the problem is, what problem you're solving, what innovation you're bringing to the market, and then of course, what is the market? Who needs this? Who is going to pay? So you see, we have in form of the market, you have to look at, there's a beneficiary, there's a user, there's a buyer, right? So the buyer may not necessarily be the person to benefit from the application. You may find that, for me, maybe I want to just buy, but I want to use it in the application. The beneficiary could be someone with mental health, but the user could be maybe the mental health, services or something like these rehab facility, centers. So this could be like the users, and maybe there's this, they are actually maintaining, they have this application, and they can actually go click, do everything, and I'm able to access the services. So you have to think about, I had you talk about the numbers in terms of making money, and you say, like a client would be charging like 5,000. This is okay for now. Trust me, if we meet 2 years from now, I'm sure you'll tell me the business model changed. And it is okay. Because you say, look, 5,000 and for like 30 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, that's a good thing to start with, but that will change. I'll probably think you can actually charge less because you're thinking of this company you want to start is a profit venture, but a social one in its nature, because you're providing a social value, but you're making money to actually, empower and change people's lives. So some of these things might change. Do not focus on, this is what you had in internship, you cannot change anything about it. One thing you want to go out there with is a mindset that is looking at possibilities. Things can change, I thought about A, someone comes and says B actually works better. So focus on that. Don't just focus on one thing and say, me, I can't change my thing. The other thing is you come from different universities, which is a very good thing. Now, one thing I would like to tell you guys is you want as much as possible to keep the bond. You don't know what someone from USGM, I'm going to use that statement also as well, because now I know. Someone from USGM to work alone, and someone from KIU to work alone. You want just synergize. There's what the KIU guy knows. KIU, so close to the hospital, so close to what, and maybe they have seen this, so you know that he brings in some bit of element that you're not seeing. SGM, so close to the Holy Innocents, maybe you've seen how mothers and how parents are actually getting stressed because they are seeing their children, going through all those difficulties. So if you combine these, kind of different attitudes and different kind of seeing things from different perspectives, it will actually do something bigger. So don't really stop this kind of arrangement. Let it continue. Have, be in touch with the A-lite guys. You have access to mentors, like, he's the ICT, big person, the IT person in Mbarara. You having him, and because of the Sankalas and the EYIT, is something very huge. If you are to call him as a person and say, I want you to just come and give me 20 minutes or 30 minutes, trust me, he'll be telling you, okay, so my charges are like 1 million or maybe for only 30 minutes talk, you get, which you can't have. But because you have access to EYIT has access to mentors, they get you a mentor who can actually get you through all the things. So one thing is, from my talk, if you can forget anything I said, number one, focus on grants for your projects, think about the proposal, think about the PowerPoint. When you're presenting, I was expecting to see like a PowerPoint, but I think maybe you guys didn't have that. Like the PowerPoint that shows, like infographics, like it shows this is the program, these are the statistics, here is the solution we're providing, this is how it works, this is how it does this, this is our team, and then, this one is, like based on this. And I think now as you move to your campuses, I'm sure you have maybe people who are into the mental health faculties or something. If you could have those people and maybe identify them and actually make them part of the team. So you don't have only IT, computer science, like work alone. You need those people to actually also be part of the team. Because then that person will actually present from the perspective of something they understand. Like for us, we have a bit of medical people, engineering, business people who actually, into managing of the finance and everything, But one advice from me, as you form a team, Do not form a team because you're friends. That will get you into trouble. Form a team because everyone is bringing a unique value to the team. We did so many mistakes when we're forming teams. So like, oh man, this is my friend. Eh? Like we have this brilliant idea, let's have also like this guy. And then we win a branch, and before you know, the team members aren't connected. Like, you know, you want to just like, you know, eat the money and run away. You know, some people want to continue with the money, and some other people want to just like, you know, eat the money. So you need to have someone who actually focuses on the vision from the very first goal. Lastly, as I conclude, is about branding. I saw something to do with RM, yeah, and then I saw Medicare. I didn't understand why we have like these two different solutions. But then, of course, what I wanted to say is that, of course, Medicare is taken. If you wanted to like go there and say, oh, like we are Medicare, stuff like that, you go and say Medicare is completely taken. It's a name that is already taken. So you must think about, like, creatively think about something that is unique. If you talk about A-lite, have you ever heard about A-lite anywhere else? You know, so you have to think about Medicare. If you Google Medicare, you will see it's already taken. Like that is something I think we talk about. So as you're branding yourselves, think about something unique. Think about something that is not difficult to even mention. You know, you come here and say, you know, for me, my company is Smile What. We give it a name that even someone can't even remember in the next 2 minutes. You're like, what was the other company? You know? So think about things like around that. That's like, you know, you can have a section on branding. But if you hear Google, it's a name, right? It's a name, it's a verb. Someone says, what are you doing? I'm Googling. Like it's a name, it even becomes like a verb. You know, I Googled yesterday, I'm like, wait, how did Google become a verb? Facebook, right? You know, I Facebooked him yesterday, but he didn't respond. But remember, Facebook is a name, right? Twitter, yeah? So all these things, these guys are good in terms of finding names. So maybe if you want to think about the branding, think about those simple names, and when you say it, it becomes, you know, like a catch in someone's head. I think I saw like RM, like Relief Minds. You know, I think I've not heard about that one. It would be like a unique kind of naming. But when I saw Medicare, I was like, oh, Medicare is already taken. So if these guys are thinking about Medicare, they should know that this is completely what? Taken. So yeah, just to appreciate you guys for the energy. Just to appreciate you for having made a good choice to actually do your internship with people that have done things. I usually tell people this statement. It's sort of like a very funny statement. Sometimes someone comes and promises you something and says, you know what, when you follow me, I'll give you like 2 million. But the person saying it doesn't even have like 2,000. And then you also like, you know, shift before the person. So I tell them, when nakedness promises you a dress, first look at what he's putting on. Someone is completely naked and they are promising you that, you know what, by now you can get into innovation. What have they done? Look at the EYIT. So the EYIT guys have lived the life of innovation. It is evident. So if this guy promises you that I will actually carry you in the world of innovation, you know you're speaking to the right person. But you meet someone who has never done anything and then they're telling you, you know what, by following me, I'll get you. But you've never gotten anywhere. Mr. Sir, what are we talking about here? So you made a right decision, and I think for me, all I have to wish you guys is wish you all the best as you go back to your universities. And I would love to have this kind of conversation moving forward. When you come to proposal writing, when you come to grant submissions, when you come to, you know, things to do with PowerPoint and presentation and stuff like that, I would want to keep interacting with you as you push your innovations forward. Thank you very much for being here.
Wow. Wasn't that beautiful? Yeah. Very, very, of course, big insightful. And the most important of all, of course, is him promising that he's willing to move with us, especially, you know, in the journey of, you know, when he talks about presentation, you know, it's about lobbying generally. It's about letting people understand what you do. And because we've not done that, we've not taken you through pitching, it's very well okay. But I was also happy to see some of you start with problems. That was also important, even when you've not actually gone through pitching. But it's okay. I'm so sure. I trust him. He has pitched on very many platforms. He has judged some innovators. So at least when he says that, I want to trust him so much. We can give him another round of applause. And, Yeah, still trying to beat our 1 hour limits. We are going to straight away welcoming Mr. Cyril. And beyond him being the senior ICT officer at Mbarara District Local Government, he's actually also another entrepreneur. He is, who has, I don't think you have heard about, you guys are big sleeping in the tank. who has heard about, did you change the name? No, Steve. Yes. Who has heard, it is Steve? Hilltop. Who has heard about Hilltop? No, there's something you had. Hilltop? Hilltop what? Resort. So there's something here. So, but at least we already promised you, those pictures were taken from there, yeah? We already promised you that at the end of this training, we are all going to meet there. So, visitor, have you taken the information positively? We need more visitors to come and join us for that course. When this one is done, we are going to his place. It's at a hilltop in the hallway. I think the highest hill. At least you're there, we come, we climb the hill, have some games there, run, nyamachoma and all that. Have some fun, you get? So he is a gentleman. When he's talking, you need to address him nicely so that you never know, he might say, you have a free ticket. But yes, that is going to be another talk for another day. Here comes Cyril. He's been, like I already said, our advisor, basically, contributed very much in changing our business model as a EYIT specifically, but also grow and make us believe that, guys, what you're doing actually is not wrong. Sometimes, of course, you might, for instance, one of the groups might win a grant, and in the next 2 months, it's no more, it's something else, yeah? But with, of course, the mentorship from him, you get to understand that this is a lifetime kind of investment. And we already said it's not common, it's not for everyone, it's just us who are in tech, who are in computing, that have this opportunity. So, ladies and gentlemen, just like the London people, let's welcome Mr. Slade. How is it? In London, they clap very high to welcome a speaker.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you very much, Sankar, Emmanuel, Ivan, and the entire team here. I'm very glad to meeting you this morning, afternoon. And as Sankara was speaking, we met a long time, and it was still young, and we had a lot to push. So I'm very glad to extend my thanks to Ronnie, whoever it is, that all the efforts we put across, I'm happy the fruits are coming out. So we've moved the long journey to get internet, to look for funding, to do all this so that we can have good innovators at this site. So I'm glad all is moving on. As I was saying, it is very important that when you have serious work, brain work, right? You are a candidate to mental health. Sometimes you sit on your laptop, you work, you hold the eyes like this, you wonder what has happened to the eyes, the head is boiling, right? So there is a lot of brain activity. So you need some time off to feel better. And me, every evening, whenever I will retire from work, I will reach home and this evening, I don't need to work. Because my head is going. So I try to move around, get good places, where you can cool your mind. And the mind, the idea came in shape, but looking for good places. Why don't you create one? So that's what Sankara was saying. The idea came, and I said, now, let me create a leisure park. where people want to rest, people want to calm down, people want to run away from problems, come and resolve themselves and their minds. So the places are coming. It's now relatively stable. They joined me when I had started, and now it is stable. Nice camping, very good, very good. So our critical subject here, what is mental health? As you did your project background, your problem statement, you need to critically understand that. 2, what causes mental health? What generally or simply or specifically causes mental health? From Emmanuel's experience, you will find that it varies from individual to individual. So you will not have a cut edge that this is it, because each day everyone is hit by a different scenario, right? So we need to have the common understanding of the causes. 3, where does this happen most? What are the most vulnerable institutions or individuals in this matter? In other words, whom are we trying to reach out at this point? When you take a close look, you will find that you have had many cases of suicide in Chambogo, in Makerere, where scare you, Sentry. So what is going around such institutions? Thank God we have not had a case at St. Joseph. But when you take a closer perspective, you will realize that the issue is very serious at some points. Go to high institutions of learning, it's too much. Go to some workplaces, it is too much. Go to families, it is too much. So we need to have that focus. Where is the problem? Right? Then when we pick that one out and say let's say 60% of the cases so far are in public and private universities. So how are we going to help these institutions now? We have a good case here at the university. If this solution is going to be very practical, how can it start in the university? We have a counselor there. We have how can the solution begin with you? Don't think we don't have candidates there. We have. How to get? So, is there a way in this solution we can focus on those vulnerable institutions before we go to the rehab? Altogether, we go to the rehab because there is a serious problem. Now, I want you to build 2 levels of thought. How we can manage and help the rehab one, and how we can prevent those cases from happening. If you take an example of secondary schools, what can we do to secondary school to avoid students, teachers from getting cases that take them to the house? Because we are saying we need to support rehab centers, yes. But if we support rehab centers to rehab these candidates, and yet we are getting more cases, yes, then we still have a problem. We can say, yes, business-wise, we are getting more payments, more clients. But the solution we think we are solving is growing bigger and bigger each day. So, solution 1 to the rehab, those who are already affected. But solution 2 will be to those who are still not affected. how do we run campaigns in these vulnerable institutions, groups of society, that we can now counteract this problem using our EYIT solution. That's something you can think about, because you never know the next candidate might be me. So how do we help me from not going to have or get this complication? Okay. So we have the solution for those who are affected. But the reasons for which they are affected is known in our background. So how do we help out on that? So that we make sure that now in Nyamtaga we have this program. Every week we address our students like this, we do this, we do this. And we are proud that for the last maybe 6 months or 1 year, we have not got a case. And then we see how to roll out that one in institutions where these cases are very common. Altogether. So that would be very, very important. Because as we minimize cases from happening, we are releasing pressure on the hands. Right? So we can find that at the university there is a fee for members to access these services. Something small. So you can still earn from these universities if we provide the solution. Right? You can still look at the other organizations and provide some training so that you prevent the staff from this complication. Than saying, the university has 3 cases and you want to throw them in Mulago for rehab. Altogether. So how do we help mass from not sending their students for rehab? So you can earn from mass by running that program and earn from the rehab from those who are ready to take it. Is that one okay? Okay. So now the biggest issue with that will be, how do we do that? If you have to run a program in that school, if you have to run a program in BSU, and the entire school is paying for that program, and BSU is paying for that, guard against these cases, how do we do that? Let's now put our solution to the market and analyze it from the real perspective. We are talking about rehab. Yes, there are 2 things in Kampala, but the cases in those rehabs come from here. How to get it? So, how do we provide that solution to our institutions and to the rehab at the same time? So we need to, in our solution, look at that. I would be very comfortable to buy a solution for my company staff, who I know that every month they go through a mental health, right? So that whoever has picked an issue can be dropped at another stage. Are you together? Because the cost of rehabilitating someone is too much, and the possibility of regaining that consciousness to normal is okay? So it is better we have that solution for those who are affected, but we can run a stronger and better program when we target those who are still safe. So look at the 2 solutions and see how we can build them. Right? Those are, Utare can pay for that program, but Utare might not pay for a student who broke down. That goes now to the parent. Right together. So we can have that market and have that solution very well perceived and utilized. I am saying this because I have a colleague who is running now a mental health program. It's called LEM, called it Love, Empathy, and Mindfulness. And his approach is starting from where the cases come from. So far last week, he signed an MOU with Jambo University to run that program with Jambo. And I was talking to him before he came here and said, but I have a team which is working on the solution. Can't you buy the solution? I said, you go, you brief me. So if we are serious, you can immediately get the bucket full to the solution. Right? So he has been in Australia, he came last week, just signed that MOU with Jambo University. They had a long week camp, handling Jambo University students, and it's going back. So what we are talking about here has real value. And the solution is highly needed, right? So we only need to push it right, sort out the causes, sort out the vulnerable institutions and individuals, particularly, then develop solutions to an individual, the solutions. Forget about the psychiatrists we have or something, but for you who has this solution, how can you manage this program? Then for them, they come and they can go expertise. So, I will take it up with Sankara. Sankara knows the big when I choose to act, I can. So we will take it up and see how best this can fit in that program and other programs. So, as Emmanuel was saying, fine tune. You are writing, take it to give action, pick images of the mentor, pick images of those who are depressed, pick the images of those who are recovered, pick them, let the program speak and say together. Then, as I wind up, I, as usual, want to reiterate my commitment. I've been off for a while, but I'm always in the background to support EYIT, give a perspective. Sometimes you sit home, you watch EYIT TV. Madam used to ask me a lot because I used to spend a lot of time in the say, but where did your program go? Said, which program? You mean this one? You mean this is it? Said, yes, exactly the same. So, it is good when you work out something to make a commitment and support with one act, right? So that tomorrow, your children, your friends, your country can benefit from your work. So, Sankara, I want to thank you very much and invite you. After this, you need to refresh. I will host you and we can go back with fresh mind. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Cyril. Trust me, you're going to hear him speak to you in a very calm manner, very professional way of putting it, and yes, that is him always. But I think we got his insights. He's preaching preventive kind of solution, while we also think of an intervention for the other ones that are already victims. But from his address, I try to see he's trying to preach, I think, a very workable kind of business model, a quick one, which is more of preventive. And he gives examples like schools, Examples like, universities, is showing schools can able pay for example, if you guys were sorted and whatever is up there, it is easy for a school really to buy that in case you brought in a program or a series of activities that hope to engage these young people, not to escalate to the other level. We recently saw a clip of someone falling off, a student falling off. You saw, yeah? It was at Rubiri. You can imagine, they told him to go cut off hair, and the guy went off, I think, the third balcony and went down, yeah? You can't imagine. That is, of course, that's mental kind of issues, yeah? So I buy his idea. Like I told you at first, IT, or this web system that you've done is just an enabler, yeah? It is just helping you enter the office of the entire head teacher guy. We are so and so who do this, this, and this, and this. We have decided to do this series of activities. It doesn't mean that every other money has to come through the system, but this is enabler. It is our key. I don't know whether you're getting me. It had to be first empower youth in technology, then before the TVs had to come in. But at least, whatever it is, it opens our doors to enter and negotiate. For instance, this Let's Farm app, the logo you see here, yeah? Apparently, it is only used at Mbadifa as a database of all farmers in the district. Not there really out there so much. It's not that the biggest money we would actually be earning is from here, but with it, we now qualify to sit at a committee of maybe production. I think even Ronnie sits there at the committee of district production. I don't know if that means anything. It's not that it is money coming from, because ideally if you see money that comes directly from Let's Farm, we include commissions of what and all that, going too much. But it being Let's Farm gave us the audacity to go now and say, Mr. Cow, itwe tujeminyeto eshazirem kora technology y'abahingi. Be like, hey, okay, let's have you in this, let's have you in this. What? Or maybe to break it down, we can now organize a farmers maybe breakfast dinner or something, a farmers breakfast, and you will see farmers coming. Ideally, we are only using the path of Let's Farm. This that we are doing is just an enabler, is just a path, but the activities he talked about, I still believe are the quickest, ways to, one, market this, two, also earn. You get? Very, very important. I am going to give Barbara, because Barbara, I think we missed you the last time you tried to address us. Henry? Yes, we are trying to reconnect back. Okay. Barbara, you could prepare yourself to come back shortly just after this. Yes, Mr. Cyril.
Just a small, as we finally come to the end of this internship program, can this team start this program? Meant to help. Start from yourself and say every Friday have a 1 hour meeting. What are you going to talk about? Mental health. This can roll out and cover the entire university. And by the time it picks up, you can now discuss with the manager, and discuss with the guild, and discuss with the university. Adopt this program. All together. So let us start with that. Because we are candidates to this. Is that possible? Yes. Because in 6 months, in a year, you can find 3/4 of the university to have a part of this program. Every Friday, you assemble in the conference hall, and there is a right? Then that message is going. You might not, as you are saying, directly get cash from yourself, but there's a solution to the being marketing. From there, you see a certain lecturer or professor saying, hey, I have an NGO. Come and handle my stuff. Then you can.
So you get that? The major output of this meeting, actually, just like I had already said, was to shift our mindset. And he already tries to make sure you look at, what did you call it?
Relief mind.
Relief minds. He's already saying that's already a company. Yeah? All you need now, I guess, is for the rest of the time you're here, we bring you here, maybe the UNSP guy, understand how to, get to formalize some of this. Of course, you don't have even to wait for formalization before starting. But what I'm echoing from his message, it is actually no more waiting. We can actually even register this immediately, and you have activities. Good thing, you have the resource, internet, you have activities that tackle or that prevent, you could search, activities that prevent mental illness. Then he says you already have a community at the university. Can we now start doing those activities as we actually promote this? Can this again, handle this, list them. At the end of the day, if they say, but who are those guys organizing these things? You have a brand, you have a company already. You say, Internship, we are from Relief Minds to okay? We are getting it, yeah? It is his message, and I believe we couldn't get it much better. If Emma must be honest to us, what has broken most of us, those that try to build tech solutions, and I believe it must have been crossing your mind, yeah? Most of us, of course, when you start these things, especially in tech, you tend to think like, it's cheap. When will it even make money? How many people are going to, subscribe from the site, yeah? Whenever you're saying, we expect people to pay us 5K to use our service, then you also again think, sure. Who's going to give me this money, yeah?
I think, Sankala, one thing you also want to add on,
yes,
is, so money is in different forms. For example, if you are students, bachelor's diploma, if at one point, for example, you use this mental health kind of application, and you're given a scholarship to start a master's, to start a degree or something, that is money itself. I was telling you, I went to UCT. UCT is a university in Africa that I don't know if I would even get there myself. I was there for 2 years. I had a scholarship. I had a stipend per month. This is money that I don't think I would have paid for myself. But it was from the innovation that I started at undergrad, which we kept on developing, and because we had done something, when they said you're going to apply, I had something to talk about. Like I was talking about, we have done this is what we're doing, and I want to do it differently. You get it? And so someone says, you know what, I think we have to give you a scholarship to gain the knowledge that would require to actually put this to another level. That is money in itself. So you have a CV. You're not like someone who has just a first class degree from the university. So what? You be beyond the first class, beyond the second upper, beyond whatever it is, you have a CV to add. Like, I'm part of the team that is developing this to help the community in such a format. Those are the parts we need. So don't only focus on, I need the cash out of this. Cash can come in different formats.
Okay, I guess we are now starting to click, yeah? Yeah, this was the major instance for this. I know when you tell your fellows at the university that you're working on something like this, they're always going to ask, how many have you seen that are earning from these things? And whatever other questions, of course, that usually have to come in. But from what they are guiding, these are simple things. You already have a community as a university, and we can start from there. So we're going to give a second chance to Barbra in case you're getting us. You could use maybe 1 or 2 minutes to summarize. Last time you had actually note, then we allow these people to ask a few questions before we actually call it a day. Thank you, Barbra. Are you there?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sankara. I hope you're getting me.
Yes, very well.
All right, I'm so sorry about that happened. Whatever you're doing, you have to do it with passion. I want you a hint about my story. Barbara is a journalist. I'm not a counselor, I'm not, but I'm passionate about. That's what Emma was talking about. You have to first identify the problem before you get a solution. Identify the problem of mental health. I lost a cousin who committed suicide. We took it lightly as a family. We didn't know that she was going to do that. But before we knew it, the life was gone, and it opened my eyes. What did I do? Already the problem was there. Then I was like, if she has done it, there are very many people who are doing that outside there. Something has to be done. We started a rehabilitation center in Busheni district, western part of Uganda, called New Life Rehabilitation Center. But along the way, I realized that people who are coming at the rehabilitation center were people, actually, yeah, we are getting plans from Kampala, but I wanted to tackle not only Uganda, but Africa at large. But how can I do that? Especially youth, the market, the target market, the people I'm looking at, many of them are youth. You have to identify your market. Are you dealing with adults? Are you dealing with young children? Are you dealing with only youth? What are your target markets? So I identified that youth were facing a lot of these challenges, mental health problems. So I saw a rehabilitation center is going to work for people who are already affected. Most of them, for someone to walk into a rehabilitation center, they're already affected. And most of them have to be rehabilitated. That's why I said you people in technology, there is a very big opportunity for you, a very huge opportunity. You're going to develop an app, and it's going to work for the whole country, not only western part of Uganda. That's why I came up to you people telling you that with your knowledge, with your skills and passion, when you add passion in there, don't look at this thing that, okay, I'm doing IT. Okay, let me just develop it because I'm doing internship at EYIT. Let me just do it for just to get marks. I know lecturers are going to come in here and there and award me marks. Don't look at it in that way. I did this thing out of passion, and I saw beyond that rehab is going to cater for people who are already affected. How about you talk, one of the guests talked about it. You have to introduce some of these things in schools. When I came up with Ukara mental health services, I started visiting schools, primary schools, secondary schools. I'm advancing to institutions, to universities. Why? I don't want this problem to happen. I don't want people to lose their lives, because if you say I'm putting a rehabilitation center, someone coming there is already worn out, meaning they have to be rehabilitated. How about you create a solution? You create something that is going to help these people before they commit suicide, before they've used drugs and they're already worn out, that is going to help them regain their selves, you know? So my last word to you is, as you're doing this, whatever you're doing, the apps you're developing, the websites, the call-ins, I didn't see in the website where the call-ins, because I talked about confidentiality and privacy. Most of these people, for the time I've been in mental health, for the time I've been in rehabilitation center at New Life, I realized that some people don't want, by the time someone comes to a rehab, they don't have what to do. But people out there want to talk to a counselor. They don't want to disclose their names. They don't want to disclose where they are, but they want help. They want to be helped. So what are you doing about it as people in technology? What are you? I guess you can develop something. You can work on it very well, and you get your money and you help people out there. Then the opportunities for you people, there are very many. Rehabilitation centers, the moment you do your proposal or a concept paper, very small, even before you do a proposal, a concept is very small. You take it to a rehabilitation center, trust me, people are going to buy your idea. People are going to buy what you're selling unto them, and that is money. Me, myself, I started earning when I was still at campus. This is a word of encouragement right now. As a journalist in my first year, I was at Kampala International University, main campus, main branch. First year, I was like, okay, we are very many people here doing journalism. But at the end of it all, we are all going to graduate and get out.
But how many anchors do we see on a TV? There are 2 or 3. Luganda, Lunyankole, or 2 on a set for English, and then the one interpreting. Those are 3 people on a set. We've graduated over 120 people. Are we all going to get jobs? I walked into NTV, asked for a job. I wasn't given an opportunity without any experience. I did a CV. I want to surprise you people. I did my CV very well. Walked to NTV. They're like, okay, have you graduated? No, I was very tiny. You know, you've just left high school, you've joined university. First year, first semester, even not second semester. First year, first semester. I went to NTV. I wasn't given an opportunity. That didn't stop me. I went to UBC. I remember the lady asked me that, did you see any other advert somewhere? I was like, no. Then why are you here? I had to walk out. I went to Vision Group. That's where my journey, I really appreciate those people. And that's why you people should take EYIT as a serious thing. You shouldn't, like, it's an opportunity for you to do an internship at EYIT. That time I wasn't doing internship. I just walked in there telling them that I want to work with you without experience, but I wanted to work. I got a job. I was given 6 months probation, just 1 month. I signed a contract of 3 years. The whole of university, I was working at Urban TV. So don't take things for granted. These small apps you're developing, you may look at them as, okay, I want Max just to graduate and move out, but you don't know where this app you're developing or the website, the solution you're trying to create, the problem you're trying to tackle, where it's going to take you. You're going to do your app very well. Someone out there, you sell it to them, they take it. You get a lot of money. You don't need to look for a job. Instead, you'll be the one to employ more people. As I wind up, I promise to work with a few people, 2 or 3, who will be very good. Of course, I'll keep in touch with Sankara, and I know he's going to help me out. We keep working together. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Are you getting me?
I'm sure I'm getting you.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad, of course, you've been on the call. You've watched what Comrade Emma and Comrade Cyril, of course, presented. But in the interest of time, of course, we will only want something from you. What, as a person that has been actually in this kind of field, what could be some of the activities that could be done to prevent someone actually from getting to the level of them having to come to the rehab? Could you have interfaced with those? Do you know a few activities that could be done so that we take Mr. Cyril's advice? These guys could actually start with those activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sankara. That's why I brought it in a bit as like, when I saw that most of the people who were approaching us at the rehabilitation center were already worn out, like they had no option but for them to be rehabilitated, I came up with an idea of visiting schools physically to go and talk to them. Trust me, there are very many cases out there, even in primary schools. You may not believe, thinking that people are taking alcohol at university. No, there is a school I went to, a primary 5 boy told me that for me, my dad sends me for alcohol, but as he takes, I sometimes take a sip or 2, and right now I feel alcohol is okay, like I don't have any problem with it. Someone told me smoking, no. When my dad finishes smoking and throws that thing out, I'm the one who finishes it up. So meaning it's not something that you can just say that these are the old people who faces it. It starts from the grassroots. So how do we prevent that? For us at New Life Rehabilitation Center, we've been going there physically to talk to these people using the Ukara mental health services, because it's the one now doing that, to go to outreaches, because New Life is just a community-based and it is a rehabilitation center. So for Ukara mental health services, we've been going to schools to talk to them one-on-one. Of course, we've had sessions, the whole school, we talk to them, but out of the 120, 50, 5 of them are going to come to you. We give them that chance of interacting one-on-one with them. They tell us what they're going through at home, maybe torture. I stay with my stepmom, stepdad. So for us, we are doing it manually, if I may say. We are doing it manually right now. But when it comes to IT, trust me, you have a very big role to play when it comes to that, because you're going to develop something. I have it in mind. Unfortunately, I don't have IT skills, but I feel you can do something that you can sell to a school, not students, because students don't have money to pay. For us, we've been dealing with heads of schools, and they're paying us to do that, to help their kids to perform well. Because trust me, when you're mentally disturbed, something is disorganizing you. From home, you're beaten, you come to school, you sit, your mind is going to be back home. Now, when I go back, strokes for me are waiting. Or maybe I'm not going to have dinner because I did something, or maybe my mom said something and I didn't do it. So automatically, that one will make a kid not concentrate at school. So for us doing it manually, I believe people in IT can develop something that when you share it with the school, let's say, I don't want to say animations, but creating like emotions for whereby they can, when they're watching something, not a movie, I don't want to go into actions, but you people developing something that when they see it, because kids don't have phones at school, okay, they can be different apps. You can develop something for old people with phones. How about these kids who are still, the pupils who are still in primary? How are they going to be helped? For them not to reach an extent of being rehabilitated, but they are helped at an early stage. You can develop something, I believe you can develop something that when maybe sold to a school, they watch it, then someone is going to be like, oh, all along I've been smoking. I think it's bad. I should stop it. For us, we're doing it manually, talking to them one-on-one. But for you, I believe in your IT skills there, you can develop something that can help these people. Thank you.
Very, very, of course, important to note from you. We are so glad that you took off some time to talk to these young people, and yeah, I also believe, of course, they are not living the same way. We are only going to wait in case they have a few questions for you, but that was really good from you. Now, yes, we are going to end in the next 5 minutes, and that we can only do if you ask questions to these people. In case you have something you need to understand from what they actually said very well, or you need to clarify a thing, then this is actually your opportunity. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, you have someone? Someone with a question or a contribution that you may want to add before we close? Okay.
Thank you. Once again, I am Kamuhire from Kampala International University Western Campus. And I think mental illness is, or mental health is a topic that actually affects all of us. It doesn't exclude anyone. Be it any of us seated here, we all at a specific moment first issues with mental illness. And as we begin to tackle it and get solutions to the problem we have at table, it is something that affects everyone regardless of their gender. I will kind of stick to the males because we as men have this pride. We feel we cannot get to unburden to anyone. We cannot get to share our issues with anyone. But I think if we have a tech solution and reach out to men, I'm talking about suicide cases, most of them are men. Yes, women are also affected, but most of them are men. But if we look at this in a way that men can also get a platform, now I'm talking about stigma, men can get a platform, express their feelings as well. We see a better society with that. we've had several cases. Practically, I think about 2-3 months ago, it was all over the news. The 2 EYIT students that passed on in a weird way. All that is stress, suicide, and more that leads to that. It's all mental health. So I think all I can actually encourage us to do is uphold the teamwork. Let's stick together. Our internship is ending. We're all moving in different directions. But we can still get in touch and keep our project moving on. Because I find no problem moving to Bishop to Mbarara with an aim of, I'm trying to make the society a better place for us to live. And I think we can do better with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rodney. Do we have someone else? A quick question and we end this. Quick question to any of these guys and we end this.
Thank you so much. It's actually not a question that I would like to appreciate and say that I really buy Mr. Cyril's idea of starting now. As we are a community, we are so many from USJM, the University of St. Joseph, we can actually start from there. As we continue building our tech solution, we make the people aware of what is coming. We talk to them, we enlighten them, and we tell them that something better is coming as a way of preventing mental illness in university students. Otherwise, I'd really like to say thank you to everyone, to EYIT for the opportunity and for opening your eyes. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. I like that. I've been reading on Google some of the few activities that could actually help relieve stress, which of course in turn would actually, grow into preventing mental health. And most of them rotate around, yoga, exercises, meditation, yeah? Some kind of something, getting you busy, but in a way that you enjoy, yeah? Even sleep, of course, is among. And you guys deal with university students. You guys are university students. University students like so much to simulate. Let's put out a poster tomorrow that has Relief Minds in partnership with Hilltop Forest, whatever. We bring to you a Hilltop experience. You will have meditation centers, you will have a yoga experience at the top of the hill. Please, this weekend, you only can pay 15K. And you will see how many students are going to, come in to pay that money. You have your CD and you're going to take them. They enjoy core and they come. Yeah? Some of these activities. You've not done it because I don't know, but you've done it because of what you have. It's Relief Minds that has actually organized this, and that is what Cyril actually was advocating for. And that will be a plus for EYIT because we believe then you have gotten out thinking about to start earning, because at the end of the day, you never know, even after your course, maybe that is going to be the very course that the university takes up or whatever, I don't know. Every other activity, of course, you do takes you to another opportunity. So thank you very much for noting that. And I just hope we actually get to buy it. Do we have someone else or we can close this? Huh? No one? So I'm going to have two people to tell us two things they got today, and also thank this gentleman and our lady that joined us via Zoom. One of them is going to be our visitor. Thank you very much. This is your first day here. Have you actually learned anything? The other one is going to be who has not spoken among men. Have you said anything? Okay. God loves you so much. You're the next person.
Thank you, Mr. Ukara.
Yes.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the EYIT management for having accepted our students and other students from other campuses
to come and do their internship from here, whereby they've been helped on they've acquired a lot of skills and added on what they had got. Then from this presentation, I really want to thank my fellow students for what you've presented. For real, it has been great. Then I want to thank the other speakers for motivating us. I want to thank Barbra for your good words, for your everything that you shared with us. Then, what I've learned, I've really learned a lot. I even don't know how I can take this, but according to the way I understood according to the way I understood, mental health can be prevented since we know the causes, because before you prevent something, then you first learn how it is caused. Then after learning the causes, there you can get solutions on how to stop it. Thank you very much.
My appreciation goes to all the speakers. Thank you so much for the good words. I've learned a lot, but specifically that we should not mind about money in our project. I think that's a core issue to look at. Otherwise, thank you so much. I think that's all.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Rodney, what could be the next course? This is the last one. What are we going to do next now that you've heard from these guys? What's coming next? Yes.
I think, as I said earlier on, we are going to keep up the teamwork, keep on addressing what we address mainly mental health. We're going to reach out in our university because I believe we all have mental health issues. Let's go out. Let's make the world a better place. We are held up in a generation where us the youth think everything is about. I don't know how I can actually phrase this, but we as youth have a big role to play in this generation, and I think we can make it a better and better place if we work together. And obviously, with mental health, what else do you need? I mean, if you're mentally stable, that means you can chase your dreams. Nothing is going to hold you back. You won't have any sort of hesitation wherever you set out to be. And just reach out to one the other to push us back. We are better than we know how best we can handle mental health issues just because of the program in Uganda. Let's spread this brother. Let's find more better places to live in. Because currently it's much more easier, surprisingly, it's much more easier. I'm sorry to use this example, but it is much more easier to convince a parent to take a student to Mbarara University of Science and Technology. St. Joseph's OKIU, other than convince a parent to take a student to Makerere University because of the current situation. But then, all these are institutions. We are all scaling up at these institutions, and we can make them better. We can make them better places for us to gain our skills. We can make them better places for us to build and become better people and have impact on the society. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, your statement comes with a disclaimer to whoever is watching. We are sorry for the few, brands, of course, he mentioned and compared. That was entirely his opinion. It doesn't necessarily represent EYIT. But thank you very much, all that attended. That is very, very important. From us at EYIT, of course, we continue to promise that this challenge, at the end of the day, we want to see a solution out there working. Now, our role is actually to pick, even if it's only one member from this team that is, committed on this solution. Yes? It's really important. importantly has now opened also our eyes on the side of, by the way, you can start with activities. Don't wait to launch the tech solution, okay? So we can assure you that before, of course, we leave the EYIT, the URSB guys are going to be here, if need be, because registering a name, securing a name is not, I mean, it doesn't get to 30K even, yeah? So it would even contribute, those the winning, even a EYIT will contribute. At least we reserve Relief Minds as a brand or as a company. The name at least gets reserved. Now, the activities that Mr. Cyril talks about, anyone willing still here can join the EYIT, but we can promise you that we are going to do something around that. Now that, of course, he already has, you know, some place to sit alone and meditate and think about these things and feel sweet of you. So we are going to organize such activities for these young people. We have other cohorts coming. Bishop Stewart University is coming. Then later Master is going to be joining. All those guys, we are going to select conk, you know, cream kind of individuals that are interested in solving for mental health, and they're going to have a number of solutions for mental health. Thank you very much. It is again back to us. And Cyril never ends. Oh my, you can't imagine. The name you selected is actually taken.
If they not pay, you probably want to check the URSP thing. You can go like on LinkedIn and register. Just put a name, or LinkedIn register that. So they can be the first to register that. I think you can do like a quick search for URSP. You can go from your computers if you use it on the internet. Just put URSP.co. I think it's URSP dot something dot UG, is it dot UG something .com? Put URSP, if you can just put that and search, I'll show where you go and then you can see, because they just actually give you that information. Otherwise, if you see this, like you can go to Facebook, people like them, they can also like print WhatsApp, I mean Facebook, whatever, and put nonsense register. And so one thing you want to do, check the first one, that one, URSP.
Okay. You is watching. What is happening is actually that the name Relief Minds seem to be already existing. There is a page on LinkedIn registered in the same names, but that can always be harmonized.
So you put that, put a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, I guess as we do that, we could be able to say, I'll call it a day for people following us live on Facebook and YouTube, and a few people that actually joined us via Zoom. Thank you very much. It's been very, very important for such a case, of course, to remind you that the background of this was that these young people had to actually innovate for mental health. And today, of course, we were looking at what they have gained for the last 3 weeks, but also have a trigger mind talk from the senior experienced kind of individuals that shared. We had the senior ICT officer at Mbarara district, local government, Comrade Cyril Tuhame, who was actually guided through. Also, Emmanuel Kamuhire, who is also a CEO at A-lite Uganda Limited, the company that actually made vein locator, and the gentleman has actually pitched on global platforms for grants. He has won several of them, and we believe he was actually suited to share to these young people on how to actually start thinking like innovators. Finally, on Zoom, we are joined by Comrade Barbra Amutuhaire, who is also the founder of Ukara Mental Health Services.
So what you could do,
so there we can go.
Only